Now, you might have noticed that we don't often show much American traditional style tattoos on my show, but we actually got a submission this week, so stick around if you want to know how I rate it. Here we go. This tattoo was sent in by Nick Boyzuk. I don't know how to pronounce that. Nick Boyzuk? Yeah, I don't know. But sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, man. If you want to find him, he is working out of Mission, British Columbia at a cool studio named Fox and Fern Studios. And yeah, I love that name. Really cool studio. Go check him out for yourself if you want. Now, let's break it down. We don't show a lot of American traditional for a reason, because a lot of it is not very customized. It's really kind of the same stuff over and over again, and it's really hard for me to rate it, to be honest. Now, this one looks really cool, really clean. There's not a lot I can nitpick about it, but if I had to break it down, the line work, I want to zoom in here because he used bold lines on this set of teeth and then thin lines on the other set of teeth, and I'm not really sure if I'm a fan of that. I can also tell if I come down here that he absolutely tried to kind of clean up this line, went over it multiple times to kind of fix it. I'm seeing a little bit of color coming out of the line right there. Nick, what is the deal with that? Small little error there, but still something that shouldn't be done. Now, if I flip over to the healed version of it, let's judge this line work. Here we go on the smaller line weights, and that's something that I really like that he did. He actually used bold line weights and thin line weights. You don't usually see that in American traditional, so I really appreciate that he incorporated that. And I know a lot of kind of, you know, naturalists out there are going to say that it's not American traditional unless you're only using medium bold line weights through the whole thing. But I really like that he's doing this new style of it. He's revamping it and adding his own flair to it. And one thing I don't like is these dots I'm seeing at the points. Look at that, the point right there, the point right there. There's dots at the end. Now that's something that's easily avoidable if you know how to whip out those points proper. And it looks like he did it well on this one, but you know, when I'm seeing the other ones dotted out like that, I don't really like it. I'm also seeing now with some of the leaves, they have blunt edges on some of them, and then other ones have sharp edges. And so I'm not really sure why the inconsistency with that. So for the line work, I'm going to give him a 6.5 out of 10. I think he did okay, but I think if he, you know, slowed it down, cleaned it up a little bit, it'd be a little bit better. Now for the coloring, let's go back here. Now all this looks really bright and nice. Look at the white, held up really well. It looks solid on this person's skin tone. And the yellow, you might say it's a little overworked because of all that redness, but to be honest, that's really common. Right after you do yellow, the blood just shows through because blood is darker than yellow. So that just happens. And I can tell by the surrounding skin, it's not irritated, it's not overworked or traumatized. And then when we go to the healed version of it, you can see it stayed pretty well. It's pretty solid there. Now there's some patches in these leaves, like right here, that did not look like it held up very well, and I saw that up here on this one as well. And so, you know, I think it could be a little bit smoother. Another thing you guys hear me complain about is this chop effect in shading. Now, I don't mind if there's a little bit of pepper shading, just like that, and you can see he did it here, and it looks really nice. It's fine, everything's good. Could have blended it a little bit better on the edge of the stem here, but overall, I think he did it pretty good. I just don't like when I see this chop effect here, and that's when all those needles are hitting in the same spot over and over when you're shading, and it creates these lines in the shading. And so I'd give him a little bit of a hard time for that. So for the coloring overall, I think, again, I'd probably rate it about a 6.5 out of 10. I think it's decent. It's obviously experienced work, but it could be a little bit cleaner. Now for the healing, as I see this thing, it looks great. Luckily, you don't see that color that came outside the lines. You don't see it too well here. But overall, it healed well. I'm not seeing a lot of blowout in the lines, and I'm not seeing any patches missing in the color work. I do think it could be a little bit cleaner, but for the healing, I'm going to rate it a 7 out of 10, which means overall, I think I'm going to give this one a 6.5 out of 10. Now, I got to give him some kudos because his designs, he actually paints them ahead of time. They are custom designs. I give him a lot of props for that, and also he gives the customer these paintings, and so I think that's a really, really cool thing to do. So yeah, that's it for this one, guys. 6.5 out of 10. Let me know how you would rate it down in the comments below. Let Nick know what you think of his tattoo, and if you want your tattoo rated, just send it in. All right, we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.